fantastic, a brilliant reveal. But do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Right, so moving on to the next bit of news, and this one I'm actually really bummed about. So this, basically Kevin Feige, he did a lot of talking the other day. And this was during the, the Television Critics Association Winter 2021 tour. God, they need to work out a better name because that is far too long. And I got this via Decider. And basically, Kevin Feige revealed that apart from Deadpool, they're not going to be working on any other R-rated movies. So what does that mean? So that basically means that Blade, the upcoming Blade movie, which is supposed to star Mahershala Ali as Blade, which is fantastic casting, by the way, brilliant casting. Well, if we take what Kevin Feige is saying at face value, then it means that we're not going to get an R-rated version of Blade. How can you do Blade without it being R-rated? They announced this film, so it's been announced, and this is actually what. So basically, Kevin Feige said that everything they make, so it's for kids and adults, is what he said, that everything they make. And he said, we've been able to tell all the kinds of stories that we wanted with the tonality and the ratings we have now. And it seems as though that's not going to change in the future. He was basically saying that everything with the exception of the Deadpool franchise isn't going to be R-rated, sorry. So that's the future of the MCU. So this also probably brings in the likes of like the Punisher series that apparently they're working on, and the Daredevil series that they're working on. These are all, I mean, if we're like looking at what Kevin Feige said here in the other day, well, it looks like they're not going to be R-rated. So I think there's a problem there. Now that they have Star as well on Disney Plus, they do have that like area where they can put this MCU content. So why not just kind of push the boundaries a bit more? We saw that what Fox was doing with their Marvel content, with like the likes of Logan and Deadpool, they're really pushing the boat out, and they saw that those films were still doing really well at the box office. So it seems to me as though Kevin Feige is just a bit worried about that tone. He wants it to be more family friendly. He wants to be able. I mean, they want to have that huge kind of audience, which an R-rated movie won't be able to have. But then I personally don't see the problem of having a couple of films that are kind of on the side that are R-rated and really for adults and not so much for kids. But it seems as though this is something that Kevin Feige's very, very kind of gung-ho about. He really, really wants these films to be kind of all the same kind of tone and not R-rated. The only ones that will be are the Deadpool films, and that's because they came to them R-rated, so they kind of have to make those films R-rated. So that kind of puts the Deadpool films in a bit of a weird situation. Are they still going to be part of the MCU? Well, Kevin Feige did reveal a couple of weeks ago that yes, they will be part of the MCU, and they will be R-rated, is what he said. So it kind of puts them in a bit of a weird position. So, and also if you're a kid, and I think it's in America, it's you have to be 17 and accompanied by an adult to see or if you're below 17, you have to be accompanied by an adult. I believe that's right. If that's R-rated, it's different here because in the UK it's just a 15 rating. Let me know in the comments if I've got that right. Is it if you're an R-rated film is if you're 17 and under, you have to be accompanied by an adult. I believe that's right. But in the UK, it's 15. And basically anyone under the age of 15 can't see the movie. Then there's 15 restricted, or 15 like PG kind of thing. 15, where you can be accompanied by an adult if you're younger than 15. But this is the whole thing that annoys me about this, because I really, really think that they're really kind of there's a massive problem here, because they have this content now. They have all the stuff from Fox, and a lot of it is R-rated, like the Logan stuff, the Deadpool stuff, and it really showed that they were doing something really interesting with it. So here, Colin says, going all the way with R rating is not often necessary these days. I can't read. It can also introduce more financial risk for studio. Just look at Birds of Prey's box office, but Joker was a big exception. Yeah, you are right, but also, I know what you mean, but also look at Logan and look at Deadpool. Those films are both R-rated, and people thought they weren't going to do very well because they were R-rated, especially with Deadpool. Birds of Prey, I mean, honestly, that film failed on marketing. the reason people didn't go to see it was because they didn't realize it was a Harley Quinn film, and it was called Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, or whatever the hell that film was called. I did personally really like that film, but I think that was more of a marketing problem. And Joker did really well. So honestly, I know where you're coming from, but I also I'm gonna respectfully disagree, because there have been other exceptions that have done really well, and they've been specifically Marvel projects like Deadpool 2, and Logan. They did really well. So, I think you're right in the sense that they want to keep their viewership as open as possible. They want to have as big an audience as possible. So they don't want to cut that off. They'll basically cut that in half by making it R-rated. But you're right. Lords of the Long, but The Matrix was R-rated, and that did really well. So I think if it's a good film and it requires being R-rated, then it's like, that makes sense. Do it, and I think it'll do well if it's well marketed. Marvel knows how to market their films brilliantly. They know that. So I'm personally hoping that he's kind of not telling the truth, because I really do think, especially a film like Blade, which involves vampires, it will be gory. It will. You can't really make that and it not be R-rated. Just the subject matter is so dark. And the fact that, why announce a Blade movie if you're then going to kind of do like a, watered down version of the film? I think it just, look at the original Blade films. They were R-rated, and I thought the first two were really good. The third one was terrible, but the first two were really good. And I just think they need to be quite careful with what they're doing here, because I do actually think that an R-rated Blade film is definitely important. I think that's the only way you can do that movie. So if they're thinking of doing a PG-13 like version of that film, then I don't think it's worth doing. And if you've got someone like Mahershala Ali in as Blade, you've got to do that film, and you've got to do it right. But do let me know what you guys think in the comments. Right.